Hey guys, and welcome to a new video all about Rogue Company, the new game done by Hi-Res Studios that is currently in beta testing. I was lucky enough to get this code off a friend. I tried it out on stream and I figured I needed to make a video about it to address some concerns that I have, some things I liked, some things I didn't like, and just generally go through and see what we can think. Overall, unimpressed. Not gonna lie guys, I'm gonna give you the lowdown straight from the get-go. Not very impressed with the game at all. It does, however, have a lot of potential. This is in beta, so there are changes that could be made on release, and Lord, I pray and hope that they do, because so far, not ideal. Not ideal at all. We'll go through the options first, as always, and we will see what we like, what we don't like, what they could add, what they don't need to add. Let's jump straight into it. So here we have the options menu. Now, one thing I will make a note of straight away is the fact that it is very, very nice in the way that you can switch between your controller and your mouse with ease. A lot of games, especially when they first come out, have this weird thing where Jump Force was one of these, where if you use one input mode, it will stop the other one from working. This doesn't do that. It's very smooth. It's very seamless. I can switch between it with my controller there, or just go straight back to my mouse. The automatic settings on both this system, which I used to record, which is the less powerful system out of the two that I own, and the PC downstairs, put it all on Ultra. It doesn't look like it's a very graphic intensive game so far, which is kind of cool. If it comes to me making some gameplay footage, and if I have to lower the quality to get it to record, I will state so, but so far I don't think I'm going to have that option. The display options that are available are fairly basic, but there is a lot of them, or there's a decent amount of them, but they could be made better. So first of all, you've got your Windows full screen mode, or full screen or windowed mode. That's nice to have. A lot of games, especially in beta, don't have that functionality yet. You've got your resolutions here. Your VSync is off by default. I always have it on, especially for recording. Your brightness level, this actually pops up the first time you play, but it's nice that you can then change and adjust it if you're not quite happy with it after you've started. Motion blur, still don't understand why this is in games. It's always there. It's always on by default. Please stop this. Have it there if you really want, but have it off by default. It is one of the most vomit-inducing settings I have ever come across, and I don't think I've found anybody yet that actually likes it being on. So, when you start the game up, do be aware that that is a thing that is on by default. Your save frame, that's always set to 100%. It seems fine. It's a nice thing to have. Not overly important, I would guess. Then you've got your overall settings. Like I say, this sets it to ultra by default. Now, one thing I did notice is that anti-aliasing is set to low, medium, high, and ultra instead of your normal 2, 4, 8, 16 settings, etc. It would be nice if you had those settings as opposed to just ultra or high or whatever, because AA can be a problem for some lower end systems. Your textures, your visual effects, all that sort of thing. It's got some decent settings here, but it does come across as a sort of a poor console port, and I don't think that's what they were going for. But again, it runs smooth, it runs on a toaster. I'm kind of okay with it. You've got your audio settings here. It's fairly basic again. Make sure to have your voice and push to talk on and all that nonsense if you so desire. Your controls. Now this is really, really nice. They've got a really large amount of control variation that you can do depending on what you need to do and how you like it. You've got gyroscope adjusting, you've got movement, you've got it all. Like, it's really, really fleshed out in here. I really like this. And then you've got your bindings. Now this is quite possibly one of the best features I've seen in this game thus far, is that you can actually change your entire controller layout. Now, I am a controller pleb. Everybody that watches me on stream knows this. So normally when you get a game, your controller settings are there and you can't change them. You're done. That is what it is. This is really nice because you can change it around. I would like to be able to double function some buttons. For example, having B to crouch. It's actually right thumbstick in. Like, you got to press the right thumbstick in to crouch, and B is to roll. I would like it where if it was a press to crouch and then a double press to dodge roll, but I haven't seen that I'm able to do that, so I've just switched them around right now. It makes it a little bit clunky in game. Outside of that, most things seem to make sense. I have changed a few bits around as well. I think I changed melee to RB because that was right directional button for some weird reason. But again, like, you can 100% swap everything, and I like that. That's a nice option to have. GG high res. Then you've got your gameplay settings, which is just your quick cast, your English, the display settings that you want, etc. And then your social, which is just what chat you're in. So overall, options are really good. They're pretty fleshed out. They could be better fleshed out, but for the whole, pretty impressed. Pretty impressed. Well done, high res. Next, we're going to look at our modes. So you've got your tutorial, you've got your demolition, you've got your strikeout, and then you've got your practice demolition and your just total normal tutorial. The tutorials are actually really good. I really enjoyed doing the tutorial. It was very interactive. It had a nice bit of dialogue. It gave you a bit of charisma between the characters. Showed you how the things worked very well. Gave you a good rundown on how you are supposed to do things in the game. So really, really good job on the tutorial. However, it is here that we come to our very first major problem that I hope changes before the game releases, and if not with the game release, I hope that it changes over time. I hope that they do add more maps, because at the minute these two modes honestly are not enough to keep myself especially, but other people, entertained for a long amount of time. Only having two game modes in a game like this is not ideal. At the very least, there should be just a straight up team deathmatch. Like, there should just be a straight up shoot each other. You could even have a straight up rumble mode to take turn from Destiny. Just a straight up PvP mode. Something pretty basic, but all the more fun. There doesn't have to be an objective, and the fact that they've only got two modes is a little worrying. It got a little bit stale, a little bit quickly, because it was very repetitive, and the modes were over quite quickly. And we're going to get into why there's another problem with that in a minute. Maps as well as there not being a lot of and no difference in game mode. You've got like a casual mode and a competitive mode. You've only got 6 maps, and again, 6 maps gets very boring very quickly. I'm not gonna lie. My favorite so far has been Winterward. It's the largest of the maps, and like I say, we're going to get into another issue there. But yeah, this is a problem. This needs more. It needs fleshing out. There needs to be more of it. Only having 2 modes, only having 6 maps, it's not ideal. It's not got the longevity. It's not got the replayability at that, because it does get very stale very quickly. Out of the 2 modes, I think Strikeout is my favourite, and we will do some snippets of gameplay from both so I can explain how they work, what I like, what I don't like about them. So we'll jump into some Strikeout and go from there. Okay, so we are in the stage selection now. This works in the same way that Overwatch does, in that when somebody chooses a character, it locks them in and you can't choose that character. This is a little bit of a problem. It's got the same sort of issue that the actual mission selection and maps that are available has, in that on free-to-play, it is very, very limited as to what characters you can play. The intro is absolutely incredible. Although I did notice today when I was playing, the music kind of disappeared halfway through. And it made it very, very odd.
Let's get this party started.
But yeah, so the intro is really cool. I think that once you've unlocked all the characters, it's going to be a little bit better, because not everybody's going to be choosing them. But for the characters it gives you for free, there's not a lot of it. The other problem I've got with this is the loadout section. Each character only has 2 main primaries that they can use, 1 secondary, 1 melee, 2 lots of equipment, and then your perks. That's it. That's all you get. You can level up your weapons. You can change your gear and stuff. But on the whole, that's what you've got. That's all you've got. Ah, bollocks. It's very limited. I'm not sure I'm okay with it. Like, there's nothing. There is legit nothing else you can do. It's got like a BR sort of feel to it, even though it's not a BR. So you don't have a lot of health. You have to revive your enemies, but you don't get a lot of time to revive your enemies. The hitboxes are a little bit off as well. It feels a bit clunky. It feels unfinished. The other issue I've got with it, and this is a big issue, is not only do you not get a lot of map selection, but the maps themselves are tiny. Like, they are really, 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 really short maps. So it's very easy for one team to get an advantage, because they can just camp your spawn. Like, whichever team takes out the other team first, that's it, game over. It literally is, it is as easy as that. Cover doesn't really work very well. I have been shot through walls. And again, the hitboxes just don't seem to make much sense. The damage dispersion doesn't seem to make much sense either. And again, you're limited. You've got 2 primaries to choose from that you can level up with money. You've got your equipment, which you can buy, but because the rounds are so short, you don't really get to get them all. It feels like you're never at full power. It feels like you're never at full strength. You're always fighting with what feels like a bit of a handicap, because you can't get both lots of equipment. You can't get a full loadout. And it just, I don't know, it feels like there could be more to it. There could be a lot more to it. It definitely feels like if you get seen, you're screwed. Like, there's no real gunfight there. And it feels a bit disappointing as a result. Other than that, like I say, it's got potential. And this is the more casual mode. This is the strikeout. So basically, the idea of this is you've got a point. You've got to capture the point, hold the point, or kill your team. You've got a limited amount of revives. Once you're out of revives, you're dead. So it's very much like an extended version of Survival on Destiny. That's what I'd compare it to. In that you've got to hold the point, or kill your enemy team, and you've only got certain relives. And then it's best of 3. So you play 3 rounds, and the first person to 3 wins, which is kind of cool. You've got this shop at the beginning, and like I say, this is your loadout. This never changes. You don't increase your player level and therefore get more. You're only allowed 1 primary at a time, which is fair, but you've got to buy it or buy upgrades. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't, like... And this is something I don't understand why is in the game and winds me the hell up. It just takes time. It feels that because everybody that's doing BR is doing it, let's have a plane that you fly out of, even though it doesn't benefit the game at all, especially with how short the maps are. And then when you look at, like, when you look at the map that's around you, because the map itself is huge, but you're only using like 1/10 of it. It really seems bizarre. Like, the only time you get to see or be in anywhere of the map is when you fly in. I feel that they could probably, if they're going to keep the small map, just get rid of the plane. Otherwise, work on the maps, make them bigger. You don't want them too big, because with only 4v4, it would make the games take way too long and feel drawn out. But these short maps are awful, because you can't really feel like you can get an edge. You can't get an advantage over somebody. You can't flank them because they're just everywhere, because the maps are so tiny. The Wind Ward one, the one that was on about earlier, is by far the best. It is the largest map that gives you the most amount of everything, really.
What did you expect?
Enemies have
Graphically, it's very pleasing. It is satisfying getting a kill, but again, the cover system just doesn't work, and there's no way for you to heal yourself unless you are the medic. And you don't get a lot of time. You don't get a huge amount of time with when you are down, and with the maps being so short, it's very rare you actually get rezzed anyway.
Defend it.
I don't think the res mechanic should be in this mode specifically. If they bring it out and they make a BR, and they add a BR mode onto it, yeah, cool, res road mercs. If they had like a team deathmatch, then again, it just wouldn't be, needed. Overall though, fun mode. If it is a little clunky.
Enemies are running low on reinforcements.
Enemies behind
Crush 'em.
us.
Need help. Out of life. Make it count.
So that is Strikeout, guys.
We're out
I
of
will now
reinforcements.
show you what detonation is like. Alright then guys, so this is going to be some demolition. This is the second game mode available in the game,
We'll lock it down.
and I am going to be playing a character
That'll
called
do.
Anvil. Now the idea of this is that you have two zones that you've got to either attack or defend. You defend by stopping the enemy team from putting a bomb on either part, charging it and blowing it up, and you attack by putting a bomb on the point and blowing it up, or
Move here.
attack and defend can also win by killing everybody on the other side. You have one spawn in this, which means that the matches can take a little bit long. The other problem I've got is that to win, you need to win like 7 times. So they can be for very, very long matches, especially if you're not very good and you end up dying quickly. If you die quickly, then you're out and you got to watch the rest of the match unfold. Can make it feel a little bit drawn out and not a lot of fun to play.
Run it
It
again.
is classed as the competitive mode, but I feel that 7 rounds is just too many. 5 would have been a much, much better sort of middle ground, if you like.
I'll take that.
The other problem I've got, outside of the whole one spawn thing, is character. Now, Anvil has got a really interesting ability special, which is a riot shield that he puts down and you're away. However, it's kind of a double-edged sword and more really a hindrance. You can't shoot for it at all. I'm about to show you how. So with each character you get like a special ability or perk that you activate with LB and RB. Again, you can recustomize as you so desire, and you put it down.
Deploying utility.
Now the problem is you can't shoot through this bit. They need to add like either a slit or have the window sort of only half so you can lean and shoot over it. It would still work brilliantly as it's designed because
Bombs active.
only,
Don't let them
you
disarm
know, it makes it much harder for them to hit you. But as it stands, it's kind of useless. All you can do is block a path with it. Like, I think it's on a timer as well, so after a certain amount of time it disappears. And honestly, a lot of the perks kind of feel like that. The best perk I've found so far is Demas, which is basically, it's a grenade launcher, and it's amazing. It does a stupid amount of power, does loads of damage. It's great. It's a lot of fun to use. The rest of them kind of seem kind of boring, kind of seem useless. Don't really see much point in it. And again, in matches like this, you don't really get to use them that often. They kind of
Bomb defused.
peter out
Try harder next
and
time.
don't really do a lot. And the matches, the way they're done, they're too short. Like, you don't really gain any benefit from doing them.
That'll do.
So, honestly, it's kind of meh. It's nice having different characters with different abilities, but ultimately kind of pointless in the game modes that they've got going. Again, now if you're going to play as a BR, if they make this a full-fledged BR, it would work. If they make it where it's like Team Deathmatch, it kind of would work as well. If they change the abilities a little bit, that would work too. But as it stands, they're kind of pointless. Like, because you're just pointing and shooting. And the guns don't feel that different from each other. Right? You've got some that fire a bit quicker, some that, you know, you've got your different types. There's even a sniper, not that you'd ever have a reason to use a sniper because they're all such close range sort of maps that having a sniper kind of seems mute. Like, there is literally no point to it. I'm going to die because nobody's going to get me. It just, overall, the game feels unfinished. And it's got a lot of potential, but I can't rate it as a good game right now. There are plenty of other games that do this very similar sort of thing. There's a sniper person.
They crushed us. Run it
That
again.
just do it better. Like, they just do it much better, and that's a shame because this game could be a lot of fun. As it is, I play a couple of rounds, I'm bored. I play a couple of rounds, I'm done. It doesn't seem like, for a competitive mode, it doesn't seem like you get a lot more for your trouble, right? I don't think you get a huge amount of XP boost. I don't think you get any more or any less sort of reputation points. And we'll get into reputation points in just a second as well, because for a free-to-play game, that's not ideal. So I'd like to see a little bit more variety. I'd like to see more weapons for more characters. I'd like to see more perks for more characters that you could maybe choose different, you know? I'd just like to see more. Just more. Either where you get a set amount of money before the round and you get to choose your loadout and you can have an entire loadout that way, especially if there's more guns and stuff to choose from. That would, to me, feel better than each round adding and increasing, because it makes it very one-sided very quickly, because if you're getting lots of kills and if you're on the winning side, you're going to be getting more money per round, which makes it very unfair. And the opposition or yourself, your team, if you do really well, can really railroad the enemy, and it doesn't really give them a lot of chance to get back in it. So
5 seconds remaining.
yeah, honestly, it needs work. I like the premise. I like the fact that it's very fast-paced. I think the maps need to be bigger and better thought out. The cover needs to be worked on, because you can't actually kite around corners right now, which is a problem. You can kite over, but you can't kite around, which makes taking cover kind of pointless. So you just kind of gotta go for it and hope for the best. The last thing that I've got an issue with is, like I say, the reputation system. So at the minute, the reputation system, from all accounts, from what I can see, is literally used to buy champions. That on its own may seem like a bit of a waste, since there's only like 12 champions total or whatever. The problem is, it costs 10,000 reputation per champion. 10,000. So with your daily tasks, you get 3 daily tasks a day. I think they regen over time, so you can get more. But they only range from between like 250 reputation to 400 reputation, which I think I worked it out is like 900 reputation a day. Plus, when you play, you obviously get reputation as well, right? So you can earn probably 1,500 rep a day, 10,000 per champion. You're looking at a fair amount of playtime to get all champions unlocked. But that is all you can use your rep on at the minute. So again, give us more. Give us the ability to get skins. Give us the ability to get more stuff. And I pray to God that they're going to actually add more champions, more maps, more everything. I'm hoping that they bring more into it, because if they don't, this game's going to flop. This game is going to flop hard, because it's just not going to have enough. It's not going to have the longevity. It's not going to have the player retention. It's just not. But I'm hopeful. Ever hopeful, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video.
Run it again.
If you've played this game, if you like this game, please let us know what you think. If you agree with me and everything that I've said, again, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you
That'll
very much for your
do.
time. I hope to see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.